I'm very tempted to insert one or two equations in my closing comments, but I'll restrain myself. So I want to start with a few words of thanks. Thanks to Ambassador Eleni Kounalakis, Lieutenant Governor of California, and Senator Anthony Portantino for their opening remarks. Thanks to California State Assembly members Mike Gibson and Jose Luis Solace for joining us. Thanks to Zare Sinanian, the High Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Armenia. I believe he is here. He arrived a bit later. And also Garen Israelian, Armenia's Consul General in LA, for attending. And thanks to representatives from the California Assembly and LA City for coming. Thanks to USC Dornsife Institute of Armenian Studies for organizing the conference. Thanks to USC Viterbi School of Engineering, to the USC Dornsife College of Letters, Arts and Sciences, to the Armenia Fund, the ARPA Institute, and the network of ASAF patrons for sponsorships and making this event possible. Thank you to the keynote speakers, Sarkis Mazmanian, Vahe Bedrosian, and Armen Agajanian for engaging presentations. Special thanks to Shushan Garabedian, Maral Davidian, Margarita Bagdasarian, and USC for hosting. Special thanks to Kev Abazadjian for coming up with the idea of this conference, and also Ruben Abarian for helping devising the program. So, this conference is a beginning of a conversation between California and Armenia on ways to promote expanded and mutually beneficial collaborations in education, the sciences, and technology. This comes in the context of the 2020 MOU signed between California and Armenia, spearheaded by Senator Portantino and others in the California and LA city governments. The 2020 MOU builds upon years of hard work by many organizations like ARPA and individual entrepreneurs like Yervan Zorian. All this work helped prepare the ground for transnational collaborations between the US and Armenia, as we just heard from the second panel. Earlier, we heard from several generations of Armenian Americans presenting on several directions in cutting-edge sciences. Vahe Bedrosian on gravitational lensing, Sarkis Mazmanian on the role of the gut microbiome, and of course Armen Agajanian on artificial intelligence. I think if we do this next year, we can replace the closing remarks with an AI. The Armenian Society of Fellows, ASAF for short, established 3 years ago in California, is a network of 357 international scholars and experts like Sarkis, Vahe, Armen, Hago, Piervand. Many are prominent researchers and faculty at centers of excellence in California and the US. ASAF is ready to expand on past collaborations between California and Armenia and bring them to a new strategic level. We see three promising and key directions for this. One, engagements in higher education, helping Armenia reform its higher education system to one that is more in alignment with international standards, helping it develop into a regional hub for scientific and scholarly discourse. Universities like USC can be an important partner in such engagements. The Armenian government is currently in the process of rewriting its law governing higher education and science, and ASAF is involved in an advising capacity. There will also be opportunities to engage in developing legal frameworks for tech and IP transfer, where the California experience is very valuable. Today, Armenia is a beacon of democracy in a strategic region of the world. Helping it strengthen its democratic and educational institutions can be great benefit to the entire region and the region's relationship with the US. Number two, Collaboration in cutting-edge research in the life sciences, artificial intelligence, and the fundamental sciences. This can build upon the significant recent IT boom in Armenia. This year, in coordination with ASAF, the largest supercomputer for AI in the region was purchased from NVIDIA by the Armenian government. During Soviet times, Armenia was a focal point for research in the fundamental sciences and engineering, ranked, for example, only second in the world in the number of publications in physics per capita. The potential to revive this legacy is here. Bioinformatics, AI, aerospace engineering, robotics, microelectronics are areas where collaboration can be mutually beneficial. Number 3, economic collaboration in high-tech industry and beyond. Armenia can provide California access to strategic markets in the region and can act as a gateway for California R&D expansions and economic partnerships in the Middle East and Eastern Europe at the intersection between East and West. In short, ASAF believes there is immense untapped potential, especially when leveraging Americans of Armenian heritage in California and the US. Currently, about half of ASAF's membership is from the US. Today, we live in a changing world. We might worry about the place for collaborations and engagements across borders in all aspects of world affairs, including in education, the sciences, and the humanities. Yet, precisely for this reason, this is an opportune moment to engage in this direction. I will end with a short story from Armenian history. At the beginning of the 5th century, Armenia was devastated by wars and invasions. The Armenian Arsacid kingdom had fallen, and the land was divided between Byzantium and Persia. During this period of hopelessness, a group of monks came together and developed a surprisingly forward-looking, counterintuitive national strategy to confront these challenges. Their strategy was to develop a new alphabet. Then they traveled around the country over a period of several decades, establishing hundreds of universities, centers for the arts and sciences. A national repository of manuscripts was established, surviving till today in Yerevan, Armenia, currently hosting tens of thousands of ancient manuscripts about the history and knowledge base of the region, included in the register of the UNESCO Memory of the World Program. By mid-5th century, Armenia had become a significant international cultural and spiritual center, despite being under foreign rule and destruction by wars. The first golden age of Armenian culture was in full swing. A few decades after that, one of the first revolts in history in defense for the freedom of religion takes place in occupied Armenia, and eventually grants Armenians in the Persian Empire the freedom to practice their faith. This legal protection for Christians is still in effect today in Iran. By the 9th century, the empires around the region had disintegrated and disappeared from history. Yet, a new Armenian kingdom is established, unified by centuries of literature and philosophy. And that legacy is transferred through centuries to the Republic of Armenia today. In times of great challenges, doubling down on our commitments to the arts, the sciences, and education builds the scaffolding to get us to better times, to survive, then thrive. In the smaller world we live in today, just like we heard through this panel, this necessarily needs to happen through transnational collaborations and international engagements. Thank you for coming, and thanks again to USC for hosting.